I'm going to jump over to the tab where I have VYACARE open, and we have access to the old calendar here. You can see at the top we have meet the new calendar with the ability to switch to the new calendar, and I'm going to press that now so you guys can all get the grand reveal of the new system. And now here's the first look at the new calendar. The UI has obviously changed a lot. UI just meaning user interface. You can see everything is consolidated and very concise, easy to read. You can see that I have nothing changed to my calendar so far, so we are going to start from the setup process, and we are actually going to start up here in the gear icon and start with rooms. Now we can see that I have two rooms pre-built. One's a nutritional room and the other one's a chiropractic room, just to show you guys some real-life representation. Some of my examples might fit your practice, some might not, so just take it with a grain of salt and try to apply it to your own workflows. We're going to create a new room and we're going to call it imaging. And we're going to save it with the current color that's selected. Now we're going to head back to the calendar and go to the gear icon, and we're going to move to services now. And under services, I have a few services created already that are paired to the rooms, but we're going to create a new one for that new imaging room. We're going to call this X-ray. We're going to set for duration of 20 minutes, our cost of $150. We're going to select our room, the new room imaging. And then within this practice, we have two practitioners, myself labeled as one, and then Susan labeled as the second. Susan's our functional nutritionist, and I'm going to be our chiropractor. So I'm going to select myself. I will be doing imaging before my consultations. So we will move down to availability, and we're not going to select anything down here. I'm going to go through exactly why, but we don't want our patients or our prospective clients to be scheduling an X-ray, but I will give you guys an example right now of where we would be using that availability section. We're going to click on the initial nutrition assessment here, and we can see we have patient portal disabled and we have marketing portal enabled. The marketing portal is a link that you can embed into a website or public facing material that you want your prospective clients to be able to look at and hot route to a section of VYACARE to be able to actually schedule or request appointments that you've deemed accessible to the marketing portal. We're going to back out of that and we're going to go to the follow-up nutrition assessment. And we can see on availability, we have marketing portal disabled, but patient portal now is enabled. And this is going to be for follow-up visits. Obviously, current patients are going to be the only ones that are doing follow-ups. So we're going to make that accessible to the patient portal so they can schedule their own follow-up meetings or appointments rather. Now we're going to jump back to the calendar. And we are now going to jump up back to the settings. We can see that I do not have any slots open on my calendar, but we are going to configure that now with our office hours. Now, most of your practices will have office hours already pre-built for them, or not pre-built, but set out from existing use of the calendar. We're going to build it from scratch just for anybody who doesn't have their office hours set. We can see I'm selecting Monday through Friday. We can see those choices showing up, and then we have 9 to 6 p.m. We're going to keep our 9 a.m. time, but we're going to change 6 to 3 p.m. on each day for our break. I'll show you exactly how to build that break out here in a second. Just got to change these to 3 o'clock. Okay, so we have all of our end time at 3 p.m. and we're going to jump over to this other section. Let's say we have a 1 hour break. Oh, we'll jump right down to 4 even. Say we have a 1 hour break. We can see from 3 to 4 is now our break time. I'm just going to fill these out really quick. You can see in the light yellow area where the break is showing the actual duration. I'll highlight that for you in a second here. And then we're just going to set our end time as well. We're going to go back to 6 p.m. I'm sorry, not every part is going to be this lengthy. Just want to show the entire setup for the new people who are watching. Okay. And now that we have the last one, we're going to make sure that we are saving our settings. We have our 3 to 4 breaks and our 9 to 6 start and stop time. As I select that, we can scroll down to 9 a.m. and we can see our open availability all the way until 3. Then from 3 to 4, we can see it grayed out once again, indicating that it's not an available slot. And then from 4 to 6, we can see open again. Now we're going to jump over to our appointment settings. And I do want to read some of these informational pieces of the appointment settings just to make everything a little bit clearer and make it make sense. Appointment settings determine your calendar's availability and define how both staff and patients can schedule appointments. Settings configured under the Office tab define how days and times, or define the days and times when services are available to be scheduled. These settings guide staff when scheduling appointments. So we're going to start, and we are going to add 2 slots here. We're going to make sure we configure it the same as our open availability. So we can see 9 to 3, 4 to 6 p.m. And then we're also going to select the services. And so we want our nutrition services applied on Monday. We can see here, we have all the services listed, including the X-ray just created. And we're just going to be applying these to the given time slot. And now that we have those applied, we're going to be able to copy this day, and it's going to copy to every single day within the appointment settings for the office. I am going to remove Sunday and Saturday just because we do not schedule appointments on Sunday and Saturday within my office, given that our office hours do not let it happen. And then I'm going to show you the difference between having just 2 versus the ability of having multiple services on different days. So on Monday and Tuesday, we just have our nutritionist in the office, but then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, our chiropractor comes into the office as well and does his work on those days. So we are going to allow the chiropractic appointments on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. Now we got to make sure we save after every time to make sure that the settings actually apply. And now when we're looking at the new calendar, we can show you guys how to schedule an appointment if you're the staff and you're utilizing both the office hours and the settings that we just configured under the office appointment settings. You can either come up here to create and schedule an appointment event by clicking this button, or you can schedule it by selecting the time slot on the calendar. We have the ability to add a title, but I'm going to use the example of not adding a title and show you guys exactly how that looks. We want from 9 a.m. to 9:15 to be our appointment time, so we're going to select our patient, and then we're going to add our service. And as I just said, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, our functional nutritionist is in the office, but only on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday does our chiropractor come in. So we can see in our available for this slot on a Monday at 9 to 9:15, we have our nutritionist appointment, but not our chiropractic adjustments or our X-ray available. We're going to select one of each just to show you exactly what that looks like. And we have both services selected, and we can say the selected service follow-up chiropractic appointment is not configured for the time slot in this appointment setting. So we're going to go back and unselect that. Here you do have the ability to add a video conference link. And this video conference link right here is an internal video conference link within VYACARE. You have the ability to edit your exams and work on actual documents while you're with the patient. So this is a very nice tool that we've added into VYACARE. It is relatively new, so not everybody might be aware of it. But then we also have the ability to add external links directly to the appointment. So if you are utilizing Zoom or Google Meet, you are able to throw the meeting link in there as well. All right, we are going to save this appointment so I can show you how the title works. But we have an auto-generating system for the title. So we can see appointment with Sarah Mitchell for follow-up nutrition assessment, and then the room at the very end of it. If I select on the appointment, we can see the exact same message right here for faster appointment creation. And then I am going to show you on Wednesday, we select a patient, and we select services. We're going to have every service available for the slot, including the chiropractor appointments. We're able to save those as well. Okay, moving on, we are going to be looking at the patient portal booking flow. Just want to change my page. When looking at the patient portal booking flow, we got to talk about the availability checklist, and we've already went through one step of it, and that was looking at our services and making sure that they are correct for patient portal or for marketing portal. So we can see for our initial appointments, they're only going to be marked marketing portal, and for our follow-up appointments, they are both going to be marked for the patient portal. So we have that checked. Now, the next are my patient portal appointment settings set. And we can see here that they are not. And my patient portal appointment scheduling settings are also not configured. So we're going to have to do both of those two things. We're going to follow the exact same method that we used on the other side, the office tab, following our office hours, and then copying that day over to every other day. Selecting my nutrition appointments here. I'm going to do it for the second one as well. And then I'm going to copy this data every other day. Delete Sunday, delete Saturday. And then on Wednesday, we are going to be adding our chiropractor appointments. Skipping X-ray though, because we did not allow that for the patient portal. All right. Do apologize for the delay. Takes a little bit of time the first time you're doing it, but once you get it set up once, you will never have to do it again until your services are changing or the hours of your office are changing to where you'd want them to be different. And now we're going to jump down to the patient portal appointment scheduling settings. We can see appointment scheduling, and this right here just generally allows appointment scheduling within the portal. Now, within our practice, we are going to require an approval. So the patient can't just schedule an appointment from their portal. They're requesting appointments from their portal. So with that, the verbiage on the buttons change a little bit, and then the function with the calendar, either placing it on the calendar or making a little box that requires an approval that we'll show you in a minute. We're going to allow cancellations, but with cancellations as well as scheduling appointments, we probably want to set a minimum time, and we're going to set ours as 24 hours here. And then we're going to make sure we save. Okay. Now, this is the view right here as I jump to my other tab that your patient would be viewing right after they signed into their patient portal. I came from it just from the office. Everybody has the ability to view the patient portal as if they were a patient from their office, just to see kind of how everything looks and to make sure that it's all working as they planned. So as we jump down this list, we can see appointments right here. Oh, let me just go back. Now I can show you guys exactly how to view your patient's patient portal. We're going to come right up to portal and view access. Then we're going to be taken directly to the portal. If we go to book an appointment or appointments, we will see this page here with the appointments that we have made patient portal eligible. You can see the 2 appointments that we have previously scheduled, both from the staff side as well here under the appointments that are current. If we select the follow-up nutrition assessment, we're going to see my 24-hour buffer. And the first available time being 2:30, given that it's 2:21 right now on Wednesday. So we can see our next available time to schedule is 2:30 on Thursday. We can see the appointment, the date, the time frame, and we're just going to confirm our request. We can see requested, follow-up nutrition assessment, the date, and the time as well. You're able to cancel or reschedule if you beat the patient rather is able to cancel or reschedule if they beat you guys to approving it. But after you guys have approved it, it is going to change the view on here. We're also going to schedule one for the chiropractor adjustment. And you can see the time slots are slightly different just because of the length of the service. And I'm going to jump to the next week right here so that we're not getting our 24-hour buffer. And we can see that we are only allowing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, where Monday and Tuesday are cut off, unlike the functional nutrition appointment. So we'll schedule a 9 a.m. and we will show as well the follow-up chiropractor appointment and the time under their appointments. Now, when we jump back to the calendar, we give it a refresh. We can see the one scheduled appointment here, and this is going to be for the nutrition assessment. And then we can see the other requested appointment here, which is going to be for the chiropractor adjustment, which was on the following week. If we come under our appointment requests, we have the two different appointments, one for nutrition, one for chiropractic, and we are able to approve and deny these. We are going to approve the nutrition, turning it blue, scheduled, and we are going to deny the chiropractic, turning it red, magenta color. We jump back to the patient portal and we refresh that. We can see scheduled, similar to the other, and then we can see declined because it was declined by the practice. Okay. When we're looking at these appointments here, we have this little drop down, and that's what's going to determine the appointment color. There are a few that we wanted to go through. I have them listed down here. I just want to make sure I'm showing the right ones off. So scheduled blue is going to be one of the most common, as well as if the patient or the office is canceling the appointment, we're going to go with a gray or a brown, slightly different, but both showing neutral colors. And then we're going to do a completed appointment, which is changing it green. So we can see those are going to be the most common. We also have the other selections like waiting room for the practices that do use a waiting room, changing it to a completely different color. But this one right now is just currently scheduled. Okay. Now we're going to be able to move to the task management side of things. That's basically the entire flow for your active patients and how they would be booking from the portal. Now, as we move to task management, we are going to be able to come up to create and click task, or we're going to be able to click the given time slot for the task. We're going to come up here and just click task. We're going to add a title, and we're going to say check records. Now, we want to schedule this on Friday the 10th at 3. Oh, that is out of my hours. We can see that right here. I selected a time that was during a break, so it's giving me the warning. I'm going to move that down to 4, which is after the break, and go 4 to 4:15. Not going to repeat. I'm going to assign it to a different user than myself. We'll assign it to, I believe this is our front desk person of this office, and then we are going to save. Now, if we jump to Friday the 10th, right after our break, we can see check records. We have the ability to mark it after clicking it or directly from the calendar. We can see who's assigned. We can see our notification to that user. Then we can also see the time and the date. Now, I do just want to jump back to our practice dashboard where we'll see the exact same data, check records, the assignee, and the date all on the dashboard as well. Jumping back to the calendar, show you, we can mark it as complete. Are you sure you want to mark confirm, or I'm sorry, check records as complete, and we're going to confirm. We can jump back, and we can see that it gets a little bit transparent with a line through it as well. All right. Now we do have some other features like the out of office. If you are the admin, or depending on how you select for your permissions to be given out in your practice, you will have the ability to select entire team here. For individual users, you can select or a given time that you're going to be out of office. And this is particularly important for the practitioners of the office to be able to list themselves away for their services to not be available for that time within the patient portal or the marketing portal if they're available for that. We're going to select all day, and then we're also going to select entire team here. Other than I didn't check what date it was. Okay, so it did it for today here. We can see we have out of office all in the all day slot. If you select one, you can see for myself, and we'll have Susan, then we'll have Carly. These are all the individual out of offices, marking it for each of our services. Carly's not a practitioner, so it wouldn't mark anything for her for service related, but for both Susan and myself, this time will be taken out of the patient portal. Okay. Now there are just a couple new things that we want to show. One thing that kind of changed the way it's being presented. We have this new rooms ability here to select the individual rooms. So how we have a chiropractor and we also have a nutritionist, they're typically going to stay to their individual rooms. So if you're the nutritionist, myself in this case, I'm the chiropractor, I'm going to select the chiropractor room. And that's going to be the primary room that I'm viewing, just to see exactly who's coming to me versus going to the other rooms that I don't have to compare at all. If we go back to all rooms and we go to this next little drop down, we have the ability to view only appointments, only tasks, or only all out of office. This is more viable for appointments and tasks here. It makes it really easy to eliminate some of the jumble and just look at the important data that you're caring about in the moment. We'll move that back to all. And then we have this week, day, or month view, similar to how we had in the other calendar. But here, when we jump to day, we get back to our headers with the room titles. So we can see for the chiropractic room, we have this chiropractor appointment here, and it is directly under that column, whereas any imaging or any nutritional for that day would be listed at that time slot under that column. This is something we're really excited about because it was part of the old calendar and we didn't want to remove it, but it was hard to configure into the new calendar. So we're excited to be able to kind of complete all views, but within a good looking and comfortable UI. That's very exciting. All right. So after demonstrating some of the UI, I am concluding the live demo portion.